Hey yo, cue a sound effect.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy BJ, the DJ, coming to you on behalf of Over the Top with Chad and Tony. Listen, let me apologize first and foremost for my absence on the pod. It's been a busy few months for me. You know, this is prime wedding season, but I promise you, I swear to you, I will be back on there soon enough. The guys have done a phenomenal job keeping you entertained, bringing on fresh guests. They've been killing it with the short content, which is kind of what brought me to where we are right now, with me back behind the camera, back in front of the camera, I should say, creating some content for you. I was watching, I think it was a Collector's Corner that Chance was doing, and I thought, man, as the residential DJ for Over the Top, why not do some rapid reviews like Tony was doing with movies? However, let me do them with movie soundtracks. Now, this was a topic that I really wanted to cover with the guys on my own podcast, The Rewrap. But I never got an opportunity to, because for one, the space I was in at the time was very limited, so I didn't have the room to bring on guests. However, that's changed. Now we're in a new space, we're in a new room, so I'll have the guys on pretty soon as we revamp and visit the Rewrap podcast. But I say all that to say this. So I approached the guys about doing some rapid reviews about movie soundtracks, and they gave me the blessing, told me to run with it. And in a cross collaboration attempt with music and movies, here we are, rapid review. This is my first one, and I decided to do a movie soundtrack that is near and dear to my heart because I love the movie so much. Anyone who follows me on social media and has heard me on the pod knows that the Memphis scene, the Memphis rap scene, the Memphis music scene, the Memphis wrestling scene has always held a special place in my heart. So this movie that I'm covering the soundtrack for is a movie that is near and dear to my heart. I think it embodies the culture of Memphis, the struggle of Memphis. I think it embodies the struggle of an independent rapper, like trying to come up, trying to figure out what's next, trying to get ahead in life. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the movie I'm talking about is Hustle and Flow. Came out in 2005. This soundtrack was one, I didn't realize that they had used some of the songs in this soundtrack. What I love about it is they built the foundation on established artists and songs that were semi-familiar at the time, right? However, they did sneak in a few songs that to me were sleepers, to me that were, I think they kind of took They kind of stole the show in a sense on the soundtrack, and I'll cover that here in just a second as well. There's three things I really love about this soundtrack. One, I love the incorporation of the songs from the movie. I feel like the movie did a great job of creating genuinely good songs that you could tell were, made in the basement or made in a room where they had the eggshells on the walls and stuff like that. The rough, the raw, rugged demo style songs. I think they did a great job. The second thing I love about this, again, I said building the foundation of this soundtrack around the songs that were established and around some artists that were already major artists. The third thing I love about this, obviously, is 3 6 Mafia's involvement. I said it before on the Rewrap podcast. I'll say it again on the Over the Top podcast. 3 6 Mafia is the greatest rap group of all time. This was the song that got them the Academy Award. The honorable mention thing here, I'll say this, outside of those three things that I really enjoyed about this soundtrack, Scarface Al Capone finally getting his flowers. Whoop That Trick is a song that he wrote and helped create that became a huge song for this soundtrack. And Scarface Al Capone was one of the first Memphis rappers to sign a major deal in the mid to late 90s. But he had an album on Sick With It. And it took a long time for that album to come out, probably politics. I think Sick With It was signed to Jive at the time. Jive had a history of pulling their artists down and not really giving them an opportunity to release material. So I don't know the details of all that. I just know Scarface Al Capone had an opportunity right around the time 3 6 Mafia started blowing up and 8-Ball MJG was blowing up to really come out swinging, and he didn't get the opportunity. The songs never came out. I think the album came out 3 or 4 years after it had been advertised in the Murder Dog magazines and the Source magazines. But Whoop That Trick was a big song on this project. Obviously, it was the highlight of the entire soundtrack. I will say this, like there were songs on here that I didn't know for sure were on this soundtrack, but were huge songs at the time. I'm a King, the remix with PSC featuring T.I. T.I. was running the South at the time. You had Tell Me Why by 8Ball and MJG. I love 8Ball and MJG's involvement in this because it is a Memphis movie. Trillville had a couple cuts on here, and Lil Jon had some involvement. The Bad Bitch remix with Webby was all on here. Obviously, my favorite songs are the ones from the movie. The song on here that stole the show for me was a song called Let's Get a Room by Nasty Nardo. I remember hearing about Nasty Nardo in the concrete magazines that you would see around Nashville and stuff like that. This song right here is the best song on the album. I'm talking about You've Got an Album here with featuring Juvenile, featuring Young City or Chopper from Making the Band, 8Ball and MJG, 3 6 Mafia's on here, E40, all of these juggernauts and these powerhouse rappers. Still Tippin' is on here. It was used on the soundtrack as well. But that song to me stood out the most for the originality. The cons of this soundtrack, the thing I didn't like the most about this soundtrack was the lack of Memphis rappers. I mean, obviously 3 6 Mafia's involvement. You had Nasty Nardo. You had Scapeface Al Capone. You had 8Ball and MJG. I wish they would have used this as a platform for maybe some young up-and-comer types. Also, there was so many other legends from Memphis, like your Player Flies, your Gangster Pats, your Tom Ski Masks, that could have really benefited from this opportunity here. So overall, man, if I'm rating this thing on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably rate it about a 6 or a 7. But don't let that deter you from checking it out. I think it's a really dope soundtrack from start to finish. Some of the songs you're familiar with, obviously, but for the most part, it's a really solid soundtrack from top to finish, from start to finish. And I really feel like the original songs are the ones that really make it what it is. So that's what I got. This is my first rapid review. Got more to come, obviously. Comment below if there's one you want me to cover, if you want me to check out. Maybe it's one that's not on my radar, but I'll definitely give it a listen. That's what I got. On behalf of Over the Top with Chad and Tony, this has been a rapid review. Hustle and Flow soundtrack. I'm BJ the DJ.
Hey yo, cue a sound effect.